Hello traders, Gary Wagner with WFGForex.com, your daily market update for Forex Gold. It is Sunday here in Honolulu, Hawaii. Markets have been open just for about 1 hour. It is the opening Monday morning in Australia. And this is the daily report on June 6th, Sunday. Forex Gold is currently trading approximately 1219.10. It's been to 1220, as low as about 1218, trading in a $2 range, trading quietly this morning. We'll take a look today at not only U.S. gold, but Euro gold, and talk to you a little bit about the Euro dollar, which continues to be under pressure, all here on the daily report. Traders, as I've said, I am looking for a upside target in terms of this fifth wave to around 1265. And let me explain where I've come up with that conclusion, as well as why I've drawn the Elliott wave count in the way that I have. The first thing that I want to talk about is this extension here of wave 3 and why I didn't count this as wave 4 here. As you can see in green are our entire impulse sequence, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Of course, 2 and 4 are always our corrective waves, and our waves that are our impulse waves are 1, 3, and 5. One of the golden rules with Elliott wave is that when we are trading, wave 4 can never go into the area of wave 2. So as we were trading in this wave here, we came up here, and then we had our correction. With that correction, you can see that it did go into wave 2. So I had to negate any count here of thinking that we were actually, this was wave 4 and this would be wave 5. I do like to explain why, because Elliott wave seems to be subjective to the untrained eye. However, although there is room for interpretation, one has to realize that we have to have defined rules and particular sequences to have what Elliott wave considered to be a correct wave count. So therefore, this wave 3 would be intact as it drove up into this area. Once we had this corrective wave down here, our wave 4, we were nowhere near close to the area that we were looking at. The other rule that you want to follow in Elliott wave when you're looking at wave 4, this corrective wave right here, is that this corrective wave should be approximately 38% of the wave 3 in terms of the move from the bottom to the top. We actually got a corrective wave of about 50% in terms of retracement. The next Elliott wave rule that I kind of want to talk about is what we do in terms of looking at projections. Once we have our impulse wave 1, that impulse wave 1 is going to define projections for both impulse wave 3 as well as impulse wave 5. Now, according to Elliott wave theory, our largest wave should typically be impulse wave 3. However, it has been maintained that in commodities, sometimes wave 5 is the largest of all the waves. Now, the rule of thumb is wave 3 should be approximately 1.61 times the length of wave 1. Wave 1 was approximately $100 when you look at the low of 1045 to the high of approximately 1145. When you take that and you add, times that by 1.61, you have this move of $161, which is where I actually drew a target projection back when this wave started of 1246. The top was very close to that. It in fact was and came in at 1248. Pretty close indeed. The next rule when analyzing impulse wave 5 is going to be it should be about equal to the move that we saw in impulse wave 1. So if we take a look at this low at 1166, 1165, and we add the $100 in terms of the move, that is where I'm getting my projection for upside potential based at 1265. Now, a couple of things. These are not hard and fast rules. We have to look at the fundamentals in the market. we have to watch the market very carefully. And wave 5 can extend to the degree that we saw wave 3 extend. So, in other words, if, and of course it's a big if, because we're nowhere near there right now, we're still dealing with this resistance right here at 1220. But if in fact the market does continue to trade higher, and if in fact the market goes as high as 1265, that's going to be an area where we look at for potential resistance, and also look at an area where we want to see if the market in fact does want to trade lower. Traders, what I've drawn in here is purely hypothetical. But if in fact we follow our Elliott wave cycle, meaning a complete wave sequence is a total of 8 waves, meaning our impulse phase, waves 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then our corrective waves A, B, and C, this is somewhat in terms of how it will look. Now, don't look at these lows that I have not projected, nor have I calculated these areas. But what I am saying is that if it does follow suit, and there are some times when it won't, you'll get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 count, and you'll get another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 count. We'll talk to you about that if and when we see this market in fact trade to that area. But what I do want to say is that if in fact we follow this cycle, it goes to a top anywhere, between 1240, 1260, and then we see a series of corrections, we might in fact then be entering what's called our corrective phase. Our corrective phase will be noted because what we will see is when we look at this particular low on wave 4, we will make a lower low here. When we look at these highs here, if we're truly in a corrective area, we will have a lower high, then a lower low, and then we'll go back into our impulse sequence. So that's in terms of what we want to look at long term. If in fact it continues to follow this cycle, what we might find. Again, this is purely hypothetical, but if it does follow the Elliott wave count closely, traders, this is something we can look for in the next couple of months. Lastly, traders, I do want to look at Euro Gold. Currently, Euro Gold is trading at 1018.75. It's been to 1020. It is and has been maintaining historical and record highs. As you can see, it has breached and safely traveled beyond that. The euro dollar, of course, is under extreme pressure, and that's the reason that we're witnessing these extreme moves here in our Euro Gold. My recommendation is we are going to look to position ourselves on the long side in Euro Gold. I will look at that Monday and Tuesday of this week. Right now, I want to see it trade and effectively form a base above this one area, based above these tops here, which are at about 1009, right around that area. So traders, I am going to be looking to position ourselves long on the euro dollar. I do want to express a little caution and wait at least a day or so we can see how that market does trade. I think we're in for an extremely exciting week here in Forex Gold, and we'll see what the week ahead brings us. This has been Gary Wagner with WFGForex.com, your daily market update for Forex Gold. Wishing you, as always, good trading. Bye-bye. We'll talk to you on Monday.